Welcome to DC FanDome. I'm Robert Townsend, and today we've got a panel with the cast of Black Lightning, and it's all about the 90s.
Bravo, let's get up out of here. Last night I saw a superhero, he was black. He said, this is for the street, Black Lightning's back.
Let's meet the cast that's joining us today. He plays Gamby, and all I got to say about this guy is that he is a method actor. I mean, he sold suits to get this part. So please welcome none other, Mr. James Remar. How you doing today, James? How you feeling, man? How you feeling?
Hey, feeling good.
Now, this gentleman plays Painkiller. He's serious about his acting, but he's also serious about fitness and exercising. This guy does 50,000 push-ups a day. Please welcome Jordan Calloway. I love your look, man. What are you sporting today? What you sporting?
Man, you know, we got the overalls and everything, got the good old bow hat. Can't forget the dad shades. You know.
This next gentleman in the cast, he's the bad guy you love to hate. I mean, because they wrote something in the script about his daddy, so you kind of love him, but you hate him. But he is a bad boy. He plays Tobias Swell. Give it up to Marvin Jones the Third.
Marvin!
Marvin, who you repping?
California for sure. I'm repping South Central, but most importantly, I'm repping the late great actor and rapper Tupacalypse now, Shakur.
Whoa. This next cast member, she plays Dr. Lynn Stewart. And her real superpower is that she can do 9 pages of dialogue and not miss a beat. Did you get that? Did you get that? Christine Adams, what you doing, girl?
Thank you, Mr. Townsend. Thank you.
The next cast member, she plays Jennifer. She is the baby of the bunch. She started acting when she was 1 year old, doing Shakespeare in the Park. Please welcome China and McClain.
Yay!
What's good?
Tell me about your top. I love your top. What is that top?
It's a great clothing line called My Sister's Closet. Look at that.
Hello.
All right. Our next cast member, she plays Thunder and she plays Blackbird. She goes far with this character. She robbed a few drug dealers to get into the mind of Blackbird. So please welcome Nafessa Williams.
Hey y'all, what's going on, Robert?
Woo!
Girl, how you doing?
I'm doing okay. I can't complain.
I like your look. What are you TLC? What's your vibe?
So, you know, I'm giving y'all a little bit of Aaliyah, TLC,
Yes.
bamboo earrings, long nails.
Our last cast member plays the title character, Black Lightning. What can I say about this man? He is so committed to fighting crime. He sleeps in his Black Lightning costume. Williams, how you doing, baby boy? How you doing, man?
I'm chafed because I'm sleeping in that costume.
You guys ready to play this game? It's 90s.
Oh, yeah.
It's everything 90s. Are y'all ready? 90s.
We're ready.
Did your homework. You ready? Okay, first question, because we're going to go through many questions. This is the first question, ladies and gentlemen. In 1991, what was Halle Berry's first movie in 1991?
Oh, I think I know.
Oh, okay. This is
It's Boomerang?
no. And
No, Jungle Fever.
Well, you can't answer twice. You got it wrong.
Boomerang. Do you know
What?
all right. Here's the next question. In what U.S. city in 1996 were the Olympic Games played?
Is that Atlanta?
Oh,
For real?
the next question. Now this is for anybody. Who was the first woman to win the MVP for the WNBA?
Oh,
Lisa Leslie?
Lisa Leslie?
What did Cynthia Cooper?
Yes. Cynthia Cooper.
I know my female basketball
Okay, Jordan.
players.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna throw this one to the youngsters of the bunch because this is gonna be a hard one.
Okay.
Where was Will Smith's Fresh Prince character originally from?
Philadelphia.
But it's Calabasas.
Philly.
I'm just joking.
This one is kind of hard for everybody. In the 90s, what was the highest grossing movie? I'm gonna give you clues.
I don't. Is it? Can I say? Is it the Titanic?
Yeah.
I was gonna say Titanic. I've never actually
I could
seen
have guessed
it.
that one. Shoot.
Go ahead, Celine.
You know what? You know what? All these questions, we do have a winner, and the winner is Christine. Mama in the house.
Winning brains again, not just a pretty face.
Give a cyber round of applause.
I'll clap.
Let me say this about Black Lightning. It's having a major impact all across the world. Know that your work really matters on a whole nother level, because sometimes in show business, we can just be, artists on a show, and the show is just funny, or the show is silly, or the show is goofy. It's another thing to have a show that really has real issues in it that impact people that last a lifetime. So it's entertainment, but it's also education. So bravo, bravo to the cast. Round of applause.
Thank you.
We talk about superheroes, but superheroes come in all shapes and forms. And this is for everybody in the cast. Who was the first superhero to make an impact on you? And that can be real or fiction. Like if I was to say for me, in 5th grade, there was a teacher named James Reed. And that teacher was the first one in 5th grade to believe in me and say, you could do something with your life. And I named the character in Meteor Man after him, James Reed.
Oh, wow.
So that's my real connection. So who was that first hero?
My 8th grade English teacher was a man by the name of John Eartha. And one day I was misbehaving in class, and John Eartha brought me over, and I had to sit next to him, and he put his shoe on the chair. He was a big guy, and that was kind of his way of letting you know that if you moved around, he was going to kick your butt. Public school, he never touched anybody. He was just a very intimidating presence. Mm-hmm. And he asked the class, who knows who Prometheus was? And nobody knew who Prometheus was, but I had a love of Greek mythology when I was a kid, and I raised my hand, and he looked down and he said, all right, let me know. And I told him that Prometheus brought fire to humanity. He was the god of foresight. He was very impressed with me, that answer. And so he let me out of the dungeon, and he invited me to his summer camp where I learned about being an actor. And John Eartha was the only black teacher in my hometown. And he was my mentor, and he's the reason I became an actor.
Wow.
Wow. Beautiful.
Nice.
Beautiful. Jordan, I'm going to go to you.
The number one has to go to my mom and pops. And I mean, Robert, you know my dad. I mean, he's your DP back over at Parenthood, and that's where I started. I mean, and that's when I first got into acting. Started off as being an extra. And I mean, just seeing my dad's work ethic and how he treated his crew as the DP, how he treated the cast. And then my mom, because when I was a child actor, there was somebody that was driving me to those cattle calls, driving me over to West LA. And you know who it was? She was also taking me to my baseball games and everything else. So that's my Wonder Woman. And yeah, so mama and pops.
My parents have been the ones to teach me everything that I really needed to know, because it's hard. It's hard growing up in this industry, and it's easy to get off track. But when you have parents that aren't hyping you up exactly, but giving you just the tools that you need from the foundation to be able to handle all of this, because it's a big responsibility, and it's, like I said, it's very difficult as a young person to get caught up in it. So they're the ones who've always been with me, and I know that they always will, and they've taught me that God is the one that gives me my opportunities. It's not from getting hired and getting this and it's from him. So that's what makes me not afraid to be able to stand up for myself and do those things. So yeah, it's all them.
Christine.
Yeah, my mum, really. single mum, teenage mum in a country, didn't speak the language. I honestly, now I'm a parent, I don't even understand how she did that on her own. And she always told me that I could do anything. She never, ever, ever crushed my dream. She drove me to my theatre club. There was no doubt in her mind that I could be whatever I want. And I think that's such a powerful message for a child. So definitely mum, but I also do want to give a shout out to Diane Carroll. When I saw her on Dynasty at the age of 10 or 12, let's say, I had never seen someone so poised, elegant, regal, intelligent, fierce. I'd never seen that before. I'd never seen any Black actress like that before in my life. So Diane Carroll and my mum.
I love it. I love it. Marvin, I'm going to go to you, Cap.
I had a teacher in the 7th grade named Mr. Sherman, and he poured so much positivity into me in regards to my intellect, so much to where he gave me a subject that was World War II and allowed me to study that subject in such depth that he allowed me to teach a course on it in 7th grade and teach my class. I was able to hold the class one day. And it really spoke to who I am today, you know, as an orator, why I ended up rapping, why I ended up getting on stages, why I ended up now being on television. It really gave me that power. And to look beyond the limitations that, you know, the world had set before me.
Wow. Nafessa.
The first thing that came to my mind was my grandmother, who rest her soul. We were really, really, she wasn't just my grandmother, she was my friend. And that was really, really important for me as a kid. But she taught me to be kind and God-fearing. And that is something that has carried me throughout my life that I appreciate. So my grandmother first, right? And then I think about why I wanted to be on TV. It was Felicia Rashad on The Cosby Show. I was a really little girl, and I was watching this brown woman who looked like me, whose hair was similar to mine, and who was sassy and independent, and she was strong, and she had her own career. That was like the first vision for me on TV, and I wanted to be her. I wanted to, like, I would fantasize that I was on The Cosby Show because of her.
Cress, I'm going to go to you, man.
I had an acting mentor in college. Actually, the first one, he's always, I consider him my mentor. His name was Tom Blank. He was a kind of a surrogate father, but also a champion for me as an actor. But I always go back to Sidney Poitier because, and I didn't even realize it, you know, when you're a kid, you don't realize it. You're just watching it, and always what came through was power and dignity. Everything he stepped into on the screen is, I'm a human being. And therefore I deserve to be here. Like I breathe like everyone else, so therefore I deserve to be at the table.
Robert, you know, to have someone like you on our sets, as someone who has opened those doors and has so much experience and has really been there at the forefront, yourself, Bill Duke, that to me is like, without sounding corny, like you're living heroes to us because you open those doors and you are producers, you're directors, you're writers, you're creators. You always had that vision that we as Black creators can do everything and we should do everything and we don't need the permission of Hollywood to get things done. The audience really, when they see you, when they see Bill and some of the other great veteran actors we've had on the show, that means something. You know, you're icons. So just know that we also consider, I think I'm speaking for everyone, but know that we also consider.
Sure.
Yeah, I just want to say one thing. For me, high school, if I could tell, we walked around quoting Hollywood Shuffle on a regular. If I can tell, I'm serious. Like, it was like part of our vernacular at that point. I mean, just continuously, and watched it so many times. Oh,
let me say thank you for all that love, because you know, as artists, on the real tip, as artists, it's always been about raising the bar. My mentor when I first got to Hollywood is Sidney Poitier. So it's between Sidney and Harry Belafonte. So it's always about raising the bar. So when I look at what you guys are doing, you do me proud on so many levels, because there is a generation of kids and adults that are learning how to navigate life better because of the life lessons that are in this series. So many people across the world need inspiration and they need hope. And I just want to ask this one simple question. Can you give me one key to success that has made you successful?
Everybody's beliefs are their own, 100%. But what's gotten me through this industry is God, period, point blank, period. Because when you enter this industry, and not to mention being Black and also a female, you can't fear this industry. You can't fear not continuing to get work or not being able to get work because you're not willing to compromise your morals and your values. You cannot be scared of that, because if you're scared of that, trust me, you're going to end up in a place that you never wanted to be. And that part is not a part of your dream. It's not a part of it. So God has made me unafraid.
It's literally about finding your purpose and literally living in your dream. I believe that's the way to success. That is happiness.
I would just, in one word, I would just say faith. You know, have faith in the unseen, you know, and know that it's on its way.
You know, young actors ask me, you know, what do you do? How do you do this? And I've been asked that many, many times over the years. And I try to keep it real simple. And the best tool and the best advice that I can offer them is to look them in the eye and tell the truth.
Amen. That's right.
Determination, not quitting, continuing, especially in the industry. Yeah, don't give up and continue.
You know, we are meant to be eternal creatures.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you're thinking in the realm of eternity, there's a lot of these things that I toss away because they're not, I'm like, okay, will that mean anything in the realm of eternity? And when you can do that, then you can toss away a lot of the distractions and things that don't really matter, that the world may want you to get caught up on, that keep you off your path.
Right now we are in quarantine, and it's been months and months and months. And we also have Black Lives Matter. So the world is upside down. Quarantine has been a really beautiful thing for me, because I've read more books that I didn't have time to read before. I've written a couple of things, and I've kind of taken time to kind of like reset. You know what I mean? It's a beautiful time to reset. Some people are freaking out, you know, and I understand. But I just wanted everybody to weigh in on the state of the world in this current configuration. Any thoughts that anybody has about anything?
One of the things that has happened in this last few months is I think it's focused all of us in terms of what matters, what has meaning, what's important, how do I spend my time, who do I spend my time with, what kind of time is it? And I think as a culture and as a community and as a globe, we needed to do that. We needed to stop for a second. Then for whatever reason, when we all stopped, we all witnessed the horrendous killing of George Floyd. And I think in that moment, there was nowhere else for anywhere to look. We all had to look. We all had to pay attention. So as hard as this moment is for everyone, I know it's hard for everyone. Trust me, I'm the world's most positive person and I'm struggling right now. Despite the sort of poison that we're being exposed to, I believe that human compassion, kindness, we have that above all else. I don't ever think, you know, people that fought, like John Lewis, who we just lost, you know, in his lifetime, I don't think he ever thought he would see as many white people on a civil rights march as Black people. That's, something's happening, something's changing, and I don't want to stop fighting, and we won't stop fighting, and I feel like something is happening to us as a society that is profoundly important, and I'm excited. I'm scared, I'm also excited about what that could be.
I never thought that I would see something like this happen in my lifetime, honestly. I had to talk to my grandfather because my grandfather marched with Martin Luther King Jr. So the fact that he got to see this kind of again, something like this again, was very shocking for him. And it's been kind of overwhelming for me, to be honest, but I don't think that it was a coincidence that this quarantine hit and then, you know what I'm saying? All of the Black Lives Matter, all of this stuff started happening in our community. Don't think that it's a coincidence at all.
It was interesting when the quarantine first started going down, and you know, a week felt like a month. I mean, it was like, time was like, it was brutal. It was brutal. And then George Floyd and everything blew up, and it almost like illuminated the opportunity even more. I'm encouraged, but I don't want the work to stop. Like, I feel like in the past, I feel like we're here because we did a certain amount of work and then stopped. And I want to see us push through and see that work to completion.
I've seen how there has been selfishness and I've seen selflessness. And in growing during this time, I feel like I've progressed more to the selfless in ways that you can help, or in just being educated and understanding the shoes that other people walk in. And when you see that, when you actually take the time out after you've watched everything that you can, because I mean, look at that. That's a blessing. The fact that we have things to keep us distracted. That we call that, we say we're so blessed, we're so great, America. I mean, like, yo, before America thought we couldn't get touched. Newsflash.
I'm dropping the mic.
I mean,
that is it.
Man, social change takes place inch by inch. It is slow. But like Dr. said, the moral arc of the universe bends towards justice.
Amen.
I'm done.
Okay, so here's a question. This is a question for everybody in the cast.
Yeah.
Why do you think people love this show so much?
Speaks truth to power. Power meaning the state of our government, even though we're in a fictitious world. I think it aligns a lot of times with the current times. And it speaks to the people who are actually living that. The peoples in the Black communities. You see a lot that's the truth of our experience, and it's done in such a way that's fantabulous, if that's even a word. And it I think it resonates not just with our community, but with every community, because it has such dignity and integrity.
And also it's a good time for a lot of people to learn about our experience.
We stay true to the moment of what's happening, that people are able to use our show as a mirror. Yeah. And like China said, learn from that.
This show, out of the superhero shows, it feels real.
We provide that hope, not just through superheroes saving the day, but also making difficult choices that are morally correct choices.
Let's talk about next season. Let's have a discussion about next season. And this is for everybody. Where would you want to see your characters go? Like, is there something in particular? I mean, you guys have tackled a lot of themes and a lot of subject matter. Is there anything that, you would go like, man, I want Celine to think about this. I want to think about that. Is there anything you would think about for your character?
I would really like to not be drunk or on drugs or with my hand down a toilet or slapping my husband or fighting with my husband or, crawling along the floor.
But, can I say something to you? You are absolutely brilliant when you go into that other zone and you get twisted, because, when I was on set, you broke my heart in that bedroom. When you and Joe were going at each other, I thought y'all were fighting for real. And you were like, no, I'm on the green stuff right now. And you went into that zone. So it's amazing to watch you as an actress, but I think you're showing your range on a whole nother
Thank you so much. No, I feel I'm so lucky that I get this great material to play. I have no complaints as an actor.
Jordan, Talk to me. You've been alive. You've been dead. You got powers. Where would you like to go, man? Where would you like to go?
The change and the growth that I would love to see for Khalil is more so the psychological recovering, the mental state that he would have to go through, what that journey looks like.
James, I'm going to go to you. Gambi, what would you like to see Gambi? Where do you want him to go? He's an interesting guy to me because he's like this genius of genius. I mean, is there another layer that you would want the world to see in Gambi?
I'd like to see Gambi be revealed as having a meta power of his own that is here to unknown.
Wow.
I'd like to see Gambi maybe have a girlfriend.
I would like to see that too.
Gambi had a kid that he reunites with, having not seen him for 25 years or something.
Now, Nafessa, what do you think? Where do you want to go with your character? I mean, because you got dual personalities already. So what are you thinking?
So I like the idea of Salim always staying relevant and staying true to what's going on. So I definitely want to see some of what's happening in our world and some of what's happening today. I just want us to always stay on trim with that. And knowing Salim, we will.
Marvin, where do you want Tobias to go? What's in his diabolical mind, or do you want to flip the script on us?
I would like to flip the script a little bit. I'd like to get him back into politics, from outside of the underworld, back into the mainstream of society, and hopefully doing some good, which I'm sure it'll end up being for his own narcissistic gain, and it'll be for the bad ultimately in the end. But I would like for a time to be doing some good and freedom, and then hopefully I know you and I got a chance to play around with love with the character and give him a love interest and see how far he could take it. But that was short lived. I'd like to raise the stakes with that and do something that's not more permanent, but more serious. And we can see the backstory of it develop.
But I want Marvin to have it all, or Tobias to have it all, so that when Khalil comes to take it away.
Oh my God.
It's gonna hurt.
Anybody wants to take mine away.
I ain't forgot. I just want to put that out there.
Last season, was that the first times that Lynn and Tobias started to work in scenes together?
I mean, that was the first time Tobias interacted with everybody, and it wasn't volatile. Black Lightning came to try to rescue me. I was working with Lynn. Lynn knocked me out, so let me shut up with that. And then I was sent back into my asylum.
Cress, I'm gonna go to you. Where do you see Jefferson going? I mean, this man has fought the community, fought everybody, stands righteous, gets a little confused. Where do you think he could go?
Well, what I would like, honestly, is to get back to the school. I'd like to get back into the school, get back into mentoring kids. That's probably the thing I'm most proud of is the educational aspect of the show.
The audience has a lot of questions for you guys. And, so we want to open this FanDome up for them to questions. And so do some of you guys have questions the audience has asked you to read?
I have one.
Okay. Where's it from?
From Mona in Australia, actually.
Oh.
Is Jennifer going into the other dimensions again for the Crisis on Infinite Earths this season? Oh, Lord. I actually have no idea. We have no idea, just to be completely honest with you, what's in store for the next season. So I really don't know. I don't know if you're going to see the other Jennifers. I'm not sure, but I kind of hope so because it was really fun to be able to play them.
I have a question here from Asante in the United States. She asked, will we see Black Lightning interact with other superheroes more often now that everyone's on the same planet? And is there a possibility of Henderson being revived? I would like to. I mean, honestly, as a nerd, seeing the whole table of superheroes, like, I got chills, and it would be cool to be like Justice League out. That would be awesome. So I would love for that to happen. As far as Henderson, I don't know. I was not a fan of him going. So I mean, that still sucks, to be perfectly honest.
I got a question though, Robert. I just got one from Lynn in France who asked, will we see more Jen and Khalil in the next season? I don't know. I mean, she kind of left me high and dry on a roof.
You have a cot in my place, buddy. I have to answer a question from Fofo in Canada. She's asking if Grace will have her own costume made by Gambi in season 4.
Oh, please.
Good one. Wow.
Oh my gosh.
That would be fire.
That's a good one.
It would be an honor and a privilege to create a costume for Grace. If that's what the creatives choose to do on the writing side of it, she sure will.
I do have a question from Karina in France, and she wants to know, will we ever see Anissa and Grace get married on the show?
Whoa, that would be beautiful.
We almost did, didn't we, Cress? We almost did.
I messed it up.
Yeah, I would like to see that happen, especially for the fans, and we'll see. You know, our love is kind of complicated. I was trying to tie the knot. Didn't happen. So we'll see. I would like to see it and see where that love could go.
I got a question from Melissa in Canada. She wants to know if Tobias Well and some more bad guys are going to try to come and take over Freeland. I hope so. You know, I miss Cyanide a lot. I hope I can. I hope I can pay Gambi to give me some kind of serum to bring her back or something. I can make a deal with old Gams.
There ain't enough money in the world
to bring her back, you know, because she sure was a good partner in crime, buddy.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been a wonderful time with all of you. I want to give a cyber round of applause to the cast of Black
Thank you.
And let me just say this. This has been truly a treat to be with you guys, and I see why the show is successful, but then when the audience gets to meet your spirits and see who you are as people, I think it elevates the show to an even higher level. So thank you so much for participating today, and to everybody out there, please continue to support and watch DC FanDome. Signing off. Round of applause.